What's going on, everybody? It's Stock Picks by Tim, and I've got 5 stocks for you to watch here. First off, we're going to get into bingo. I covered this in a previous video, but if you're long-term minded with bingo, I see it as a great buy at its current price. We seem to be stopping our downtrend. We are kind of just trading sideways now. If you're short-term on this, you might want to look for a reversal. You want to see it hold above the 20 EMA. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this. I do like bingo. Market cap is only 864 million at the current share price. Sentiment seems to be turning around in the media community, in the news at least, so that's a good sign. Midterm, I see this coming around and coming back to that $5 level, retesting that $5. We may find resistance there, but I think we're going to turn around, and it's going to turn around quick, but we may have a little bit of trouble breaking 5. It seems like we established a bit of support there. It might become our future resistance, but keep an eye on bingo. I do like it where it's at, and I am long-term minded. Now, if you're very short-term with this, you could potentially set a trailing stop loss, because be aware that before the virus we were only at about $1 to $2 range, so just be careful with it. But long term, definitely bullish on bingo, and I will continue to hold, even buy in at this price. I do like bingo at this price. Now next up, we're going to look at aqst, or Aquestive Therapeutics. We were up right around testing these all-time highs of about 630, and then news broke out that the FDA was going to delay their decision. So we sold off, gapped down quite considerably, and now we're trying to hold around this upper $3 level. I think we're going to be kind of range bound for at least a little while. We will probably bounce from here to here. I don't really think we're going to see the low threes, but it's definitely a possibility, because that would be our next support if we break this area in the upper threes. We kind of have a 370 or so that we could look at, but it's very likely that we will come down more. I don't see it coming down more than low threes though. Although it's possible that we just trade sideways and try to turn around. Like, we are looking like we're potentially going to turn around here though. Looking at the MACD, we've got a golden cross and we're pointing upwards. RSI, we're close to oversold, but not there yet. We could come down a little bit before bouncing. Definitely looking forward to Aquestive in this 2022 year, and the Fed will make their decision. So this will get some hype leading up to it. All of the hype has previously left, so I think now it's at a great place to buy before the hype re-enters and all the swing traders start coming back in, building up that hype on the FDA trial. And I do think this will come back and test that $6 level, especially as the news starts covering this more. We get more into detail about the trial. Now, one thing to consider with Aquestive is we're at a $156 million market cap. They're recently added to the NASDAQ biotechnology ETF or index. So one thing I noticed though with the threshold for that was a $200 million market cap. So I'm not sure how the whole rules go with that. I'd assume they have 30 days to get back over that mark before potentially getting kicked out. I'm not sure how that goes. I need to look into it a little bit more, but that's something to look into here, guys. Something to look into. Just look into the rules with that. I'm going to do my research and give you guys an update on that soon. And see what's going on there, because if they do get kicked back out of the biotechnology index, it will be, a downward pressure. As if they stay in it, it can continue giving us some upward pressure, which we need very desperately. This has been selling off. The positivity in share price was like non-existent because it was basically overshadowed by the FDA's decision to delay. We did potentially expect that to possibly happen, because they are a bit backed up. But let's get into the next stock here to buy. Next up, I want to get into Sphere 3D, or any, and this is the one that's going to be merging with Griffin in 2022. That was delayed as well in the last earnings call, caused this to drop off. At one point, we were almost at 8, but we're sitting here at under a $200 million market cap. Until we get some positive news with any, I do see this kind of bouncing around this level. We were at this level before all the hype came in about Griffin merging. So I think it's at an okay place to buy, especially if you're looking forward to the Griffin merger. I think all that negative sentiment has been absorbed, and we're at this point that once we get some news with the merger, any kind of hype leading up into it, this is going to start to rally again greatly, and I think it's at a fantastic place now. Chart-wise, we do look a little bit bearish. We still have next to no volume, and we are still in a bit of a downtrend, unable to hold over any of the EMAs. If you're long-term on it, I think it's at a great place to start adding a position again. I think it's not going to downtrend much more, although it can come down under 3 again. We did bounce right off of 3, right about off of 3. We could retest. We could even W out, double bottom, and bounce. Just keep an eye on it at this level. I think it's worth watching very closely. And staying along with the Bitcoin mining subject, we've got CleanSpark, also a microgrid play, although their revenue has been somewhat flat in that regard. Looking at it here, we did break our support and we're down in the 950 range. I would be watching this very closely to see if it falls further and continues downwards. We are still in this downward trend. So we are in a downward trend, so just watch this to turn around. If the days go by and we break it, there's a good chance we'll just trade sideways or start rising. But we are still looking bearish. Just be aware of that, although we are getting very, very close to oversold. We're oversold almost on every metric, very close on the 6 month. Just keep an eye on it. I think it will reverse. It's just a matter of when. Just be patient with CleanSpark. If you're long term on this one, I do think it's at a buy. But if you're just a swing trader or a short-term investor, look for this to reverse. Look for this to start turning around and breaking that downtrend. Don't buy a stock in free fall. I do have high hopes for CleanSpark in 2022, and I'm looking forward to see their microgrid energy side of things start picking up some steam again as the supply problems subside. And next up, I've got a new stock I haven't talked about, and my buddy actually brought this one to my attention. It's IBA, Industrias, Bachoco, SAB to CV. It's a Mexican stock, and they deal with poultry and basically animal products. So looking into it though, I suggest you guys look into it too, because there might be something I'm missing here. It almost seems too good to be true. We've got a market cap of only $2 billion, a PE under 8. We've got assets of 58 billion, while we have total liabilities of 14 billion, and we are very near that 52-week low of 38.30, farther away from that 52-week high. And if you look here, their last earnings was right around, where is it? Last earnings was right around here in October. EPS was down quite considerably, and it kind of sold off a bit. We're starting to try to turn around an uptrend. Just recently, we've been starting to turn around, and I do think where it's at a potential buy. Now we've got a PE of 8, like I said, a dividend of 2%. Revenue has been slowly but surely increasing year over year. I believe it's 10, although recently it's been kind of just flat. Revenue has been somewhat flat if you look here on the earnings. Their earnings is actually going to be coming up in the 2nd of February, so coming up in about a month. And the earnings estimate's only 52 cents EPS, revenue of 975 mil. So it seems like the outlook wasn't all that great, and I think that's why this has been downtrending for quite a bit now. I mean, looking at it, we've been downtrending quite a bit. This was during the virus, so I would kind of disregard like at least this level. So looking at it, unless we have a major health event again, I'd say where we are, we're very close to a floor unless there was just another once in a lifetime event like the virus. RSI is pointing up, MACD's curling. We're hanging above the EMAs. I think this is looking pretty good, but do your own research on this one, guys. Maybe you can bring something up in the comments that I might have missed. I do want to do a little more research into this one and just dig deep on some more details, but it does seem quite compelling to add to my position. I'm really considering it into January. And yeah, that's basically all I got for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. If you don't mind, make sure you hit the like and subscribe. I put out videos every single day. Sometimes it's stocks, sometimes it's crypto. It's always something. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll see you next time.